blockbuster. We were on the real ocean, way out of our element for 5 months.
Okay, attack!
The film was 100 days behind schedule, and 80% of the time the shark didn't work. I was terrified I was going to be fired. When the film wrapped, I had a full-blown panic attack.
It is 1975. Pierre Trudeau is Prime Minister. SNL makes its TV debut, and Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody is at the top of the music charts.
And then there is this. It is hard to believe that 50 summers ago, Jaws splashed into theaters and launched the era of the holiday blockbuster. Now a new documentary dives into it all. Joining us is the director of Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story. Laurent Bouzereau joins us now. Laurent, do you think any theme song inspires more immediate fear than John Williams' Oscar-winning score?
No, I think, it's become the sort of signature theme for anything scary. So every time you hear that music, you just better watch out.
Yeah, that and the Psycho theme, 1 and 1A, I think, between the two of them, Laurent. But people often forget when it comes to this film that Steven Spielberg was only in his mid-20s when he directed Jaws. And I know he's a close friend, and in the doc he gets quite candid about the effect that this film had on him. Was there a revelation that surprised you the most?
Yeah, what surprised me the most was the sort of trauma that he suffered through this experience. He had literally PTSD from the making of the film, from nearly losing track of his career, which was really on an upswing at the time. And sort of that fear stayed with him even beyond the great success, the phenomenal benchmark milestone success of the film. And he revealed to me something I didn't know, which was when they built the sort of theme park with Jaws on the backlot of Universal, he would go into a golf cart and go hide on the Orca, the boat from the film, and literally cry. And he had nothing to cry about, really, except that sort of feeling of near disaster that could have happened to him if the film had not succeeded. And so I had underestimated how profound that experience was for him. And I think that my film is sort of a beautiful poem, in a sense, to the power of the human spirit and overcoming the odds. And I think it's a great message for young generations today to see someone as successful as Steven Spielberg, struggle and sort of overcoming the odds.
For sure. And so interesting also to find out that Spielberg chose not to show the shark until deep into the film. One, because it didn't always work, which is like, what? But also it's that suspension of disbelief. It's that keeping people at the edge of their seat. And it really worked.
Oh, and it still does, by the way. I think that's one of the elements that makes the film timeless and still scary today is, Steven wasn't making a movie about sharks. He was making a movie about the metaphor, about the monsters that we don't see. And so he held that back as much as he could and was very much influenced by Hitchcock. You mentioned Psycho earlier, where you just see a shadow stabbing Janet Leigh in the shower. You don't reveal until the end. And, that's kind of a thing with the great villains are never revealed right away. So there was an understanding from Steven at such a young age, but a real student of great cinema, that a villain should be held back and revealed, only later for the audience to really go along for the ride, really.
Just, we got about 30 seconds, but wanted to ask you as well. I know you spoke to so many filmmakers about Jaws for this documentary, including Canada's James Cameron. Was there a common theme that came up through all of these filmmakers' recollections?
It's a great question. What came up for me and coming out of it is that everyone has been influenced by Jaws, and Jaws belongs in a museum next to the Mona Lisa, as something to be inspired by and something to be scared by.
You bet. You bet. Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story, premieres next Thursday at 9 p.m. on National Geographic. It will also be available to stream on Stack TV. Laurent, thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. Great to see you.